Please be seated. Welcome, and thank you all for joining us as we celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. So that the ceremony can be enjoyed by all, we ask you now to turn off cell phones and pagers. Thank you. My name is Ramaya Krishnan. I'm the interim dean of the Heinz College and chair of the Information Systems and Management Programs, and I'm really pleased to preside over this occasion. It's particularly pleasing because it's the first commencement after we have transformed from the Heinz School to the Heinz College. So it was the first commencement of the School of Information. Today, we'll be awarding degrees to the graduates of the School of Information Systems and Management, which include the Master of Information Systems Management, the Master of Science in Information Security Policy and Management, the Master of Science in Information Technology. These rigorous programs draw upon Carnegie Mellon's leadership and expertise in information technology, policy, and management. Our graduates have worked very hard throughout their time with us to reach this really important and significant day. So please join me in a well-deserved round of applause for our graduates' outstanding accomplishments. These talented individuals did not reach this point in their lives alone. They were supported emotionally and sometimes financially by family and friends, many of whom are here today to celebrate with them. I'd like the graduates to join me in welcoming all of you to this momentous occasion. Also joining us here today are many outstanding faculty and staff who've been instrumental in ensuring the quality and success of these degree programs. Would faculty and staff seated in the audience stand so that we can recognize you now? I'd also like to recognize faculty and administrators who are here seated here with me. Alessandro Acquisiti, Associate Professor of Information Technology and Public Policy. Arthur Dubrowski, System Scientist at the Robotics Institute, and adjunct faculty member at the Heinz College. Mike McCarthy, Associate Teaching Professor. Lynn Pastor, Associate Teaching Professor. Steve Rohrig, Teaching Professor. Michael Smith, Heinz Career Development Associate Professor of IT and Marketing. Janusz Shipula, Teaching Professor. Mark Wessel, Assistant Teaching Professor and former Dean. Frank D'Souza, President and CEO of Cognizant Technology Solutions. Andrew Wasser, Associate Dean of the School of Information Systems and Management. Sean Beggs, Director of the Master of Information Systems Management. Alison Frankowski, Director of the Master of Science in Information Technology. Thank you all. We're very excited to have Frank D'Souza speak to us today. Frank has 18 years of experience in the information technology industry, in both operational and advisory roles. He's currently the President and Chief Executive Officer of Cognizant Technology Solutions. Prior to his current position, Frank was a Chief Operating Officer where he had responsibility for Cognizant's global delivery, marketing and sales, business development, and client services organizations. Previously, he led the company's North American and European operations. He joined Cognizant when the company was founded in 1994. Earlier in his career, Frank spent 4 years at various divisions of the Dun & Bradstreet Corporation, holding key positions in marketing, strategic planning, and new business development in Germany, the US, and India. Frank was born in Nairobi, Kenya, traveled widely in countries ranging from Panama to Hong Kong, where he obtained his bachelor's degrees from the University of East Asia. He also received an MBA from Carnegie Mellon's Stepper School of Business. Frank was a 2004 Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year finalist. And Frank has had a number of interactions with us at the Heinz College. Cognizant supports the iLab. Frank is also on the board of trustees. And I'm delighted to introduce Frank as our keynote speaker. Frank, please use that.
Good afternoon, Dean Krishnan and members of the faculty, parents and friends of the graduates, class of 2009. It's really a tremendous honor for me to be here to share this very, very special day with all of you. It's a day of achievement. You're graduating from one of the finest universities in the world, the finest university in the world. And you now have the ticket to a wonderful future ahead of you. For all of you graduating today, my sincere congratulations to all of you. I wish you much success. To all the families and friends that are here today, I'm sure that the graduates join me in thanking you for the many sacrifices that you've made and the support that you've provided along the way. You know, as I stand here today, it's difficult for me not to think back to the time when I was at Carnegie Mellon. I'd like to think that it wasn't that long ago. But you know, as I think back, it's striking to me just how different the world today is from the world was when I graduated 16 years ago. The world has changed in many, many ways. It's changed geographically, it's changed politically, it's changed environmentally, culturally, technologically, and so on and so forth. But as I think back, you know, the change that stands out in my mind most, and most vividly to me, is just how global the world has become in the 16 short years since I left Carnegie Mellon. So what I want to do today is just talk to you a little bit about globalization. See, globalization is a topic that's very, very close to me, both personally and professionally. And I think it's a topic that's close to all of you as well. In fact, I'm told that many of you come from countries outside of the United States. And I think it's a topic that will be relevant to you as you build your careers and go forward in the world. I was very lucky. I grew up in a world, in a global world, long before being global was in vogue, if you will. I was born of Indian parents in Africa. I spent my early years in distant countries around the world. Some of those countries don't exist by the same name today. By the time I was 25, I was lucky to have lived in 11 or 12 countries. It was a phenomenal experience and a great way to learn about the world. And through that, I've learned really to love the richness and the diversity of the world. My wife, who's here, is from Brazil. Her grandparents came to Brazil from Japan, Portugal, and Italy. When she was 17 years old, she took her own global path and traveled halfway across the world from Brazil to, of all places, Swaziland, where she finished her high school. You know, to say that our children are ethnically challenged would not be an understatement. But you know, while it's true that our children might be ethnically challenged, I believe they're also fortunate. I hope that they'll be exposed to more views of the world than we had when we were growing up. And it's true, you know, while it's true that I was lucky to have had this global upbringing, they also say that luck favors the prepared mind. After I graduated from Carnegie Mellon, I knew that I wanted to build my career in the area of technology. That was the very beginning of the globalization of the software world. And so I took a risk. I used what I had learned about the global world. I used what I had learned at Carnegie Mellon. And together with a wonderful team of colleagues, we've had the privilege of building a wonderful company, all based around the globalization of technology. So today, most of you have chosen to build your careers in the fields of information systems, management, and technology. And I think that anyone who makes that choice implicitly makes the choice to be a global citizen. Technology is global today. You're going to work with colleagues from around the world on systems that will be made and manufactured in factories in the Far East. They will run in data centers that will be located somewhere in the world close to sources of clean energy. They'll be strung together by networks that span the planet. You'll have access to technologies like telepresence that will allow you to seamlessly collaborate easily and effectively with anyone anywhere in the world. But my reason to talk to you about globalization today is not because it's a topic that I know something about, or frankly, one that's important to you in your careers. I want to talk to you about globalization because as you build your careers, you have a global platform. And I hope that you will realize, like I have over the years, that having that global platform will provide you with an opportunity, many opportunities, in fact, to make the world a better place. I'm sure many of you have read Tom Friedman's book, where he came to the realization that the world is flat. He realized that the world was flattening because of our ability to move work seamlessly around the world, anywhere in the world, to the place where it could be done most efficiently and at the lowest cost. I was lucky recently, I participated at Carnegie Mellon's, the inauguration of Carnegie Mellon's campus in the Middle East, in Qatar. And it just reminded me of the many ways in which the world is becoming flat. But I'll also tell you that, with all due respect to Mr. Friedman, that the world is decidedly uneven and not flat in many, many ways. Whether it's response to global climate change, the issues around healthcare and disease management, issues like access to education, much work remains to be done to flatten the world. And this dichotomy, this flatness and unevenness at the same time, is one that you will have to navigate in your lives and in your careers. And I hope that, like me, you come to thrive in this world, appreciate the contours of this world, the flatness and unevenness at the same time, and make a difference because of it. So I want to tell you about 3 things that I've learned about the power of globalization in this regard. To be a force to change humanity, a force for sustainability, and a catalyst for lifelong learning. Let's start with humanity. Despite globalization and the much progress we've made in globalization over the last decade or so, there remain very deep divides amongst the people of the world. These divides take place across ethnic lines, religious lines, geographic lines, historical lines, and many others. The reality of our world is that, unfortunately, ideology is often the enemy of friendship. It was not supposed to be so, and I don't think it needs to be so. As I've traveled, I can't help but notice that in the end, people are more similar than they are different. And when that's true, the basis for friendship amongst people is there. The platform that you as global citizens will have is a platform that can bring the people of the world together and bring them more closer. Globalization cuts across geographic boundaries, and it's a great facilitator and a great leveler. Because of the global nature of your career, you'll have an opportunity to interact with people around the world. And in each of these interactions, you have the opportunity to be the catalyst for change. Our company, Cognizant, is an example of a place where the platform for globalization has cut across boundaries and cultures. We employ more than 60,000 people, representing some 30 nationalities. Our clients are in 60 countries around the world. We literally operate around the globe and around the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, someone somewhere in Cognizant is doing some work for a client. We are global and we're interconnected. Each day, more than 2 million emails come in and out of our company. 50,000 employees communicate with each other through our social media platforms. We carry more than 100,000 of our own phone calls on our own private lines. We conduct more than 5,000 video and audio conferences on average per week. And all of that is happening in the context of our normal course of doing business, of course, at one level. But if you think about all of those interactions at another level, these interactions serve as a very strong bridge for people across cultures, across nationalities, and across ideologies to interact. That global interaction that we create destroys boundaries and shatters preconceived notions between people. I have seen, in a very profound way, how ideological divides between people easily and seamlessly give way to professional relationships and personal friendships. It's a different kind of diplomacy, and I hope that you'll use your platform to build bridges that transcend the ideological divides that often separate the peoples of the world today. The next thing I want to talk to you about is about being a force for sustainability. I've also learned that when it comes to matters of social responsibility, the world is far from flat. The disparity between the haves and the have-nots is turning into a divide so large that we must act with urgency or we may never be able to fill it. Let me share a few numbers with you. There may be more current numbers, but these are the ones that stick with me. Today, some 3 billion people are without sanitation and earn less than $1 a day. Over 1 billion have no access to clean drinking water, and another billion are starving or seriously malnourished. While we have many choices of education in the developed world, many people around the world have very limited choices and access to education. In some cases, there are simply no schools, and in other cases, the cost of education is so high that the majority cannot afford education. And what's interesting about these problems is that often the solution to these problems requires a coordinated response by countries around the world. For example, no one country by itself in the world can solve the problem of global warming and the environment. Health is another example of an issue that can only be solved multilaterally. And while governments around the world are doing much to coordinate their response and their policies, global organizations don't have the constraints that governments do when it comes to acting in a coordinated way across the world. Companies, non-government organizations can relatively easily create and implement global solutions to sustainability issues. To use another cognizant example, if I may, we realize that we have an opportunity to make a significant impact on the environment in two ways. First, perhaps more obviously, we have a company-wide program to reduce our carbon footprint around the world by being smarter about how we use energy. But more importantly than that, and more impactfully, has been our ability to energize 60,000 people, 60,000 employees of Cognizant, to individually make a difference in the environment through grassroots, community-focused green initiatives. We call these people the Green Brigades. They're employee-organized groups that we as a company encourage and facilitate. And today, across three continents, Cognizant employees are working to make our environment safer and more sustainable. No government in the world told us to take these steps. We did it because it's the right thing to do, and we did it because it was the power of our platform. Sustainability is just another example of the global platform that you will have and things that you can do with the global platform. The last thing I want to talk to you about today is lifelong learning. In our global world, knowledge is being created at an extraordinary rate, at a rate faster than any time in the history of the world, but it's also moving quickly around the world seamlessly. Knowledge created in one part of the world is rapidly available all over the globe. I believe that in this world, there really are no experts, only people with varying degrees of knowledge. And I would encourage you to build on this mindset, because it's the only way that I know to sift through the data, the knowledge, and all the options that confront us every day, and give us a sense of the right path to take. The degree you receive today, in my view, is not the end of your education. In some senses, it's a launching pad. It's your ticket to explore the world. You can learn through travel, through interactions with people from other cultures, from colleagues, from mentors, in both formal and informal settings, and from trial and error. I think that if you approach the world as a lifelong learner, you approach the world with an advantage. You'll have the motivation, the curiosity, and the confidence to ask questions, to experiment, and to poke and prod at things that you're curious about. Wherever you're headed next, make sure you stop and discover new places and meet new people. Let me now leave you with 3 parting thoughts. With humanity, sustainability, and lifelong learning in mind, I challenge you to 3 things as you continue your journey. First, don't be afraid to take some risk and seize opportunities. As I think back, I don't regret the things I've done. I only regret the things I chose not to do. Second, learn to love the world. By doing so, you'll help flatten the parts of the world that are decidedly not flat today and need to be flattened. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly, please don't forget to have some fun along the way. So keep learning, stay true to who you are and what you believe. Never stop looking for opportunities to make a positive difference in the world. I wish you every success, and congratulations again. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank, for that wonderful speech. We now move to the diploma presentation. And in today's ceremony, we will honor and celebrate each of our graduates. Some students are recognized with distinction, and others with highest distinction. I'd like to call on Associate Dean Andrew Wasser to step forward and read the names of our Master of Information Systems Management and Master of Science in Information Security Policy and Management graduates. Program Director Sean Beggs will assist with the presentation.
Will the Master of Information Systems Management graduates please rise and come forward? Ramdev Agarwal. Nirav Agrawal. Izzy N. Shugant Arun Shalem. Bhavya Atmaran. Kasav Babu. Nidhi Anand. Sanket Sudhir Bafna, distinction. Jared Baldwin. Anabruta Banerjee. Shrikant Bayana, distinction. Amit Berry. Ardendu Bhatia. Gayatri Kadambi. Denny Katakura. Shantanu Chandel. Gaurav Char. Venkatesh Kumar Dandapani. K. Ding, distinction. Sarang Prabhakar Fegde. Sandeep Gana Patariju, distinction. Joydeep Gangopadhyay. Sumit Vinod Ganju, distinction. Natalie Hill. Jacob Houston Goldor Wilcock. Sridevi Gopala Krishnan, distinction. Mitten Gunalan. Sudipti Gupta, highest distinction. Barka Abay Harpale. Yeehaw. Chao Chen Huang, highest distinction. No Chao. Goro Inochi. Lokesh Jagasiya. Lavanya Jagirdar, distinction. Amjad Jalil. Ravi Jairamappa, highest distinction. Melissa Yiyun Zhang. Zhu Ying Zhang. Jian Zhou, distinction. Ashish John. Amay Prakash Kanade, distinction. Amaya Kanitka. Shweta Kaushal, highest distinction. Madhura Dalip Kedkar. Suhas Krishna. Chun Ming Lee, highest distinction. Zhu Li Shirley Liu, highest distinction. Raymond Liu. Pramod Malapragada. Sean McBride. Ashish Mehra. Shriyansh Mehta. Adib Mirza. Joseph Willis Morse, highest distinction. Arup Mukherjee. Shushi Muli. Suihiro Nakajima. Venkatesh Narayan. Brajesh Nataraja Pillai Ashok Kumar. Trupti Natu, distinction. Amok Nayak. Judith Odely. Nikita Pai. Brittany Pipes. Anne-Sophie Perot. Bharat Prasad, distinction. Udayan Pratap. Anna Fabiola Quintana. Yash Ranadev. Shailesh Radhakrishnan. Jatin Ramanathan. Priyanka Rao. Crystal Rujeje. Sahil Amnath Sanghvi, distinction.
Thank you.
Harishankar Sankaran Venkatashalam. Shrikant Santanam, distinction. Pooja Jayendra Shah, highest distinction. Chitra Sharma. Deepak Sharma. Nitika Sharma. Sarab Srivastava. Amrish Singh, highest distinction. Shreya Srinivas. Karthik Umakan. Arun Kamaran Varadharajan, distinction. Anil Patai Verghese. Rajesh Venkata Subbu. Raghavan Venkataisan, distinction. Shi Wong. Seth Samuel Watson, distinction. Mark Botte, highest distinction. Jingyi Zhu. Ying Jia, highest distinction. Stephen David Young, distinction. Xiaoming Zhang. Amrita Gulanakar, highest distinction. Basil Al-Essa.
That's it.
Please join me in a hearty round of applause for the 2009 graduates of the Mellon program. Graduates, you may now be seated. Will the Master of Science in Information Security Policy and Management graduates please rise and come forward?
Distinction.
Shilpi Agarwal. Amit Ban. Thomas Charles Karen. Wallace Thomas Clark IV. Harry Moses Clark. Adam Cummings, distinction. Kaija Huang, highest distinction. Zhao Zhen Huang. Park Kitapatkal, highest distinction. Sishi Long. Sean Patrick McCaffrey, highest distinction. Dhruv Dipan Mahindra, highest distinction. Paul Michael Pasquale. Piyush Patidor. David Alexander Reneker. Nandini Srinivasi Gopal, highest distinction. Srinivas Terapati. Ming Kang, highest distinction. A heartfelt congratulations to the 2009 graduates of the ISPN program.
So please join me in another round of applause for the MISM and MSISPN graduates. So I'm going to ask Associate Dean Andy Wasser now to read the names of our Master of Science in Information Technology program. Program Director Alison Frankowski will assist.
No rest for the weary. Will the Master of Science and Information Technology graduates please rise and come forward? Amir Sohail Bhatti, highest distinction. Liang Cao, distinction. Attila Chokai. Batuli Diallo, highest distinction. Obadiah Fitzpatrick. Sherwin Swin Hunt. Nicholas Janu. Ajit Kalambella, highest distinction. Donald Edward Kendrick Jr., highest distinction. Ernest Kravchenko, highest distinction. Anthony Edward Lally, highest distinction. Shoshana Mahler, distinction. James Alvin Marsteller Jr. Nicholas Flew, highest distinction. Andre Joseph Katraki, distinction. Aaron John Richardson. Jamie Todd Rosenkrantz, highest distinction. Bradley T. Schaefer, distinction. Prem Kumar Thangaraj. Kevin D. Tropek. Zipe 2. A well-deserved congratulations to the 2009 graduates of the MSIT program. You may now be seated.
Once again, congratulations to the MSIT graduates. Each year, a committee selects a student speaker to present a student perspective during the ceremony. The committee reviewed many inspiring entries and selected the student who best relates the graduate student experience. Today's speaker is Natalie Gill, who will graduate from the Master of Information Systems Management program in December. Upon completion of the program, Natalie will pursue a career in IT service management and outsourcing. I'd like now to invite Natalie to the podium. Natalie?
Good afternoon, deans, professors, students, alumni, family, and friends. We are glad to welcome you to the commencement ceremony. Today, I want to talk about individual motivation and about teamwork. Both are extremely related, as you may realize. Let's take the example of a young widow with 2 children. What do you think is her motivation to go further? Please take 5 seconds to think about your own motivation. First, our motivation. Motivation pushes us out of our comfort zone. We said goodbye to family or friends to go far away in both the professional and personal fields. This experience has been a test of endurance, as all of us have heard it in emails, late phone calls, and within conversation with us. We all have different stories. If there's something that being here has taught me, is that they're all similar at the end. When applying to Carnegie Mellon, I was aware, and I must say afraid too, of its high standards and exigency. At the beginning of 2008, some of us were inspired by Randy's Polish lecture. I felt immediately identified with the human part of CMU. I was impressed with this phrase. A lot of people want a shortcut. I found the best shortcut to be the long way, which is basically 2 words: work hard. And work hard, it means that there were no shortcuts for us. My story is similar to many of my colleagues. I went to a good school, a prestigious college, and later I got a job where I felt young and experienced for the position. I worked hard and overcame my fears. Then I came here, I found people like me in some ways, people not like me in other ways. I felt unique and scared, like everybody here. But we worked hard together and overcame that feeling. And I must say that I got more than I expected. Each of us has a particular motivation, but the energy generated is not enough to go outside alone. We need support. The world outside lacks of a structure. Rules are constantly changing. We will be facing entropy. Are you ready to face it? Yes, of course, but we are not here to conquer the world alone. You can't. This is all about teamwork. Today, we don't have a collection of individuals graduating. We have a team of enhanced, smart, and competent people. We're witnessing the release of a brand new version of this team. We have now state-of-the-art knowledge in technology and management. We'll be creating amazing strategies, solving complex problems, and creating brilliant entrepreneurial ideas. We have passed through this experience together, and I must say we survived. Our ties are more than strong to last forever, and I encourage us to maintain them, because this is all about people, and this is how the future should be. Along the way, we will find additional moments, small moments of inspiration, motivation, like being here today was just as simple as a smile. What gives me motivation today is a mix of individual motivation and belonging to a team. I feel strongly connected with the team we're already today. I also belong to that young widow team long ago. Some 20 years ago, she decided to do her best. She got motivated, she worked hard for her team, her family. And that's how I come to speak before you today, because she's my mother and she's my motivation. I want to thank you all for being here and to wish you the best of the luck from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie, for that very nice, inspiring speech. It's now my pleasure to present the Student Leadership Award. This award recognizes an individual who has distinguished himself or herself across several dimensions, including leadership and initiative, excellent academic achievement, strong communication skills, and exceptional promise for future success. This year's recipient is Shreyansh Mehta. Will Shreyansh please come up to the stage, please? So the committee noted Shreyansh's involvement in the Heinz community. This year, he has served on the Student Advisory Committee, the Student Activities Committee, and as a Heinz College representative on the Graduate Student Assembly. Shreyansh was also one of the 2009 Dean's Leadership Fellows, and they did a fabulous job, and an active member of the Consulting Club. I wonder when he had time to do his homework. So Shreyansh showed a great deal of leadership among his peers and was able to bridge the gap between students from different cultures and programs by constantly introducing students to each other and initiating conversations that might not have started otherwise. Shreyansh successfully engages students in community service, is one of the key organizers of the Heinz Volunteer Day in South Oakland, and extracurricular activities. Shreyansh shows exceptional promise for future success. Shreyansh, congratulations. The next award is the Outstanding Teaching Assistant Award. Will Anuj Kumar please come to the podium, please? Anuj here? Anuj is one of our doctoral students, works with Professor Rahul Telang, and has served as a teaching assistant for many of our courses, including favorites like management science and interactive marketing, and telecom management too, I must say. This year's students noted Anuj's openness and ability to understand their questions. The committee recognizes excellent ability to support students with both enthusiasm and patience. Anuj, congratulations. I'd like now to present the Staff Excellence Award. The recipient is chosen by students, faculty, and administrators in recognition of outstanding service to the community. Would Ron Delphine please step forward to accept this award, please? So the committee noted Ron's open door policy and his tireless efforts to create every possible job and internship opportunity for the students. His easygoing sense of humor draws students in to seek his help and guidance. That may explain why it's not unusual to see a line forming outside of the door. I don't know if it's the humor or the other thing. On behalf of the school, congratulations, Ron. And now to our final award, the Teaching Excellence Award. It's presented to a faculty member in recognition of outstanding teaching performance. Mike Smith. Mike teaches our interactive marketing and a capstone course, Digital Transformation. The committee noted that his teaching ability and enthusiasm piques extensive interest in the course and encourages students to think creatively and critically. One student wrote, "His is the one course that I'd never miss for anything." They don't miss any courses, but I should assure the parents and others here. Another wrote, "He's committed to the students and gives them more than the common learning experience." It's obvious that students are inspired by Mike's passion and dedication. Mike, on behalf of Carnegie Mellon and the Heinz College, congratulations. And terrific job. Thank you. Mike will now present the charge to the graduates. And then I'll give you your award.
All right. I was waiting for that. Dean Krishnan, fellow faculty, honored guests, and the 2009 School of Information Systems and Management graduating class. A few weeks ago, someone asked me whether I enjoyed my job, and I had the pleasure of telling them how much I really love what I do, and what a special privilege it is to be able to teach classes where I get to talk about the research I'm working on, and to interact with such bright and motivated students as you guys on what the answers might be. It is an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to teach you. And the fact that something I said or did caused you to think it was worthy of this year's teaching award is very special. Thank you. But with that honor and privilege comes the responsibility of giving you the charge here at graduation. Now, I think I'm supposed to say something like, do your best, change the world, make lots of money, and come back and give some of that money to the Heinz College. But I'm not going to talk about that today. Instead, I'd like to tell you about my grandfather. You see, my grandfather was a very successful man and someone who I looked up to growing up. He was a pastor of a large and influential church in Washington, D.C., a leader in his community, and someone who I'm proud to tell you was active in the 1960s civil rights movement in the Washington, D.C. area. That's not what I remember him for mostly. Mostly I remember him for something he told me when I was 12. My family was over at his house for a holiday dinner, and as we were leaving, I went upstairs to say goodbye. At that point, he was literally on his deathbed with arthritis. Poked my head into his bedroom. We were alone, and I said, "Hey, Papa, I've got to go now, but it was great seeing you." And he stopped me, touched my hand, and said, "Mike, will you do something for me? As you grow up, make sure you never put your career ahead of your family." That was the last time I saw him alive. He died a couple days later. At that time, I had no idea what he was saying to me. It was years later that I learned that my grandfather's success at his career had come at expense of time that he wasn't able to spend with his family. My dad told me that he remembers a lot of dinners where his dad wasn't there, and that for the dinners that he does remember as a family, he doesn't remember any dinners where his dad didn't have his watch sitting on the table in front of him, making sure that he wasn't late for the next meeting he needed to go to. And while I know that my dad loved his father, I also know that the absence of his father in this way took its toll. So what's my point? I wouldn't presume to tell you how to live your lives, and I wouldn't assume you'd listen to me even if I did. But I'd like to offer you this charge as you go out into the world. You may come to a point in your career where you need to make a decision between investing in your career, climbing up a ladder towards someone else's definition of success, or spending time with your family. If you ever have to make that decision, I'd encourage you to remember my grandfather, who in spite of all his career success, came to the end of his life wishing that he'd made different choices about the amount of time he spent with his family. And as you make this or other career decisions, I hope you'll know that your former professors are always here to talk to you. We love you guys. We're proud of you. And we sincerely want you to achieve the sort of success that you can enjoy all of your lives. Thank you.
Truly inspiring speech. I think he totally deserves his award, don't you think? So we are at the end. This concludes the Heinz College 2009 School of Information Systems and Management Diploma ceremony. I ask everyone to remain seated until the graduates leave the theater. At that time, please join us in the lobby for a reception with today's graduates. But right now, let's show how proud we are of all our graduates with a final round of applause.
Hello, sorry, this way.